I didn't plan on doing a rust repair today, but it looks like I'm gonna have to fucking do it. What's the saying? Curiosity killed the cat? Curiosity made the fucking rust hole worse. Let's open this. Oh, good. Alright, hold up a sec. This video is not an unboxing video. Just let me fix that quickly. Fucking machine. Come on. There, got it. And there was a bubble of rust that's been on the back of this thing for a while. And I picked at it, and I picked at it some more, and I picked at it some more. Wait, hold up. It's not a rust repair video either. Let's just quickly fly through this. It's a nice straight bumper. Rust repair was done pretty quickly, only took about an hour or so to do. The paint curing was what took the longest, so I waited 24 hours for that. Made up these little captive nut brackets, because Series Bs do not have captive nuts welded into the chassis rails for a Series A bumper. And that's about it. Done. Bumper's on. Noob's her old self again. Moving on. I hate electrical. After spending 2 years trying to work out the wiring for this bloody 3T, I really do not care for wiring at all. Electrical can just fuck, although I am getting better at reading the diagrams now. On with the topic at hand, electrical. So, it's a couple of days later since fitting the rear bumper. I've been driving this daily. But I got a couple of days off. I thought today would be a good day to actually tackle the charge light issue I've been having. The alternator light stays on, the charge light in the dash stays on when the motor's running, and I couldn't work out why. I've tried different globes, thinking it was the wattage of the globes and everything. Reading the wiring diagrams, I finally made a bit of a discovery, because I found that hooking a globe up directly to the positive on the battery and then to the charge light signal from the alternator would make the light go out like it's meant to. I forgot that RA40s have a relay for the charge light that also runs the choke on the carbureted motors. The thing that I've just realized is that the wiring here for this relay is set up for the choke, and it's wired completely different to this relay here, which is the relay wiring set up for an alternator if you're running an internal regulator, which is what the Pathfinder alternator is in that thing. So this is your factory alternator up here. I'm pretty sure all Aussie delivered ones had external regulators, which is this here, but I'm gonna have to wire mine up like this now. And one of the things that I found interesting and was throwing me off for ages because I didn't know how to wire it up was the bloody fuse, right? And I thought it was odd the way the yellow black wire from the light comes down here, goes into the fuse before the external regulator. But on internal regulator alternators, it bypasses completely. I was like, what? So what the diagram's telling me is that there is no 5 amp fuse for the charge circuit. And then I remembered I have a Jap GT sitting outside with a 2T GEU in it that won't have that stupid choke, and it will have an alternator with internal regulator. And lo and behold, there is no charge fuse there. Right there is where it normally is on the Oz delivered RA40s, and there is not one there. There's no pins for it, there is no wiring for it, there is no yellow white wire going into there, there is no external regulator. The regulator is on the alternator. To get my charge light to work without having to stuff around too much, all I have to do is change the wiring over from this configuration to this configuration, and most of the wires are already there. The only one that's different is the red. Wait a minute. Because I have it wired up so power's coming from the alternator through the fuse to the light, and then the light gets power. That T would still be there. So all I have to do is leave the fucking relay unplugged. Just remove the relay. because all it does is run the choke and the charge light. So that's it. I just have to leave the relay unplugged, literally just remove it, and that's it. Huh, I'm gonna go try this. So I fucked around unpinning this shit and I didn't have to. I just have to leave the relay unplugged, and this should theoretically work. All right, charge light on, charge light off. Mad. And the volts do pick up. Oh, sick. Yep. That was all I had to do, was unplug the fuck. And then I don't have to run new wires. Oh my god. I feel so stupid. I feel so dumb. Well, problem solved. Now I could probably hook up those turbo lights properly. But today we are not going to be doing these turbo lights. I'm still waiting on a wiring diagram coming from Japan, so there will be an unboxing video about a week from this episode going live probably. So I've got to wait for that to finish these turbo lights, but in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going full 80s aesthetic today, working on installing these two items, and it's going to be awesome. These are so retro, I love them. Anyway, let's start off with this thing and get stuck into it. And we'll just get that on there, like so. Oh. Oh. Yes. This is sexy.
Nice.
Unfortunately, my Dremel broke, so I have to do it the dodgy way.
Oh my gosh! Stop!
Well, it beats my other plan, which was putting it in here and then cutting a hole in the GT fascia. So, plonk the unit in and then just build a little fascia plate around it to fill in any little gaps. Okay, change of plans, folks. I fucked the dash. I could fix this quite easily. I could put this in and continue putting the EQ in here. But I don't know, the equaliser is just so fucking big and bulky. Look at it. It's bigger than a single DIN radio, whatever they call them. Just your regular aftermarket head units. It's the same width as one, but it's a little bit deeper and it's fucking heavy. And I was going to put it in there and have it mount off of the factory tape deck brackets and all that jazz, and put a fascia on here. I was even halfway through making a fascia. I was going to trim that top edge flat and just use that to cover up around the edge. But I don't know, the idea of having it mounted off of those little brackets that usually support the tape deck in there, and it's so fucking heavy in comparison to the tape deck, I don't think it would end well. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting it up here, because I've got dash fascias that are cut already, so I could run one of those. The problem is it's so freaking deep it doesn't fit. It sticks out to like here. So my third idea was to mount it in the center console, but the issue with that is I would have to cut up a center console, Series B center console, make it wider to fit, and I kind of don't want to do that. So I'm thinking maybe Series A is the go. Yeah, I don't know, Series A console, I really do love the Series A consoles. I actually like them more than the Series B. I've never tried fitting one to a Series B. So I guess that's what I'm going to suss out today. If I can get this to work and fit into a Series B properly, I could mount the head unit in there easily. Series A bracket that holds the console in, this one here, is a different shape to the Series B. Also, it doesn't mount off of a bracket that's welded to the tunnel like the Series B ones. It mounts off of this, which bolts to the top of the tunnel. And I don't know if Series Bs have the nuts there. They probably don't. I doubt they would have the captive nuts welded in place for this. Usually Toyota didn't bother. But one thing Toyota does a lot is they still have holes where the captive nuts would have been on Series A specific parts, or sometimes they even just have little dimples in pressed into the metal where to drill out. I might look under the carpet here, and if there's holes I might be able to mount this without stuffing around taking measurements. But knowing Toyota, I bet $10 they've actually put either holes there or there's dimples where the holes would be. Alright, that's the Series A bracket in. All the bolts are only done up hand tight at the moment. Riv nuts worked well. That's all in. Should be able to just test fit a console in here now. It's going to sit back there, but that is roughly where it's going to sit. So gear stick position with the W57 in this might be an issue. It wasn't really with the Series B, but yeah, it's looking like it might be a problem with this. So I reckon I can make it work, but that's where it mounts, roughly. It's got to sit a bit higher at the back. Actually, I might not need to, because that's reverse. Oh, yeah, no, I think that boot's just throwing it off. I don't need to move it. How cool is that going to be? So I can sit back there like that roughly. Assuming I don't put the knock control in there, I can have it sit like that. If I want to put the knock control in there, I'm kind of fucked though. Because that means I would have to raise the arse of this up a lot, which wouldn't work. Nah, I'm going to have to just move the knock control, which I'm happy to do because I wanted to move the ECU anyway. So I'll try get them in the kick panel or something. And this can be the home of the EQ right here. And I've never driven a car with a Series 8 console before, so this is going to be weird. I do prefer it though, it's a way cooler looking console. Another day, another chance to tackle this head unit crap. So this is the head unit out of NooB. I had it wired up and everything so you could turn it on, it lights up. It did work. The antenna doesn't go up and down in NooB. I don't listen to radio anyway. And I used to have an aftermarket head unit in the center console. If I'm going to be doing this 80s digital equaliser in the dash, this won't work because the speakers share a common ground. I'm not 100% sure, but I have heard that if you try wiring up these to something that needs two separate grounds, it won't end well. So I figure instead of destroying something, I might as well just swap this out for a head unit that does have separate grounds for the speakers, but it's still an old school setup with the knobs and the switches in the middle here. So it'll fit the Celica dash just fine. And I could use, I don't know, any one of these really. I've got a fair few. So I've got this one here, which is an FM radio. It's pretty much on par with the Celica one here in size. The mounting holes are in the exact same spot, so I can use the Celica brackets on it. Problem number one, they don't line up exactly, so it should be a matter of just undoing these nuts and moving these switches down. Looking inside, it doesn't look like the brackets are fixed, so I'm going to try adjust these now and see if I can get them to sit in the right spots to suit that fascia. I don't know if you can see in there or not, probably not, but these little arms that hold these knobs in place, this one actually has a hole on there to put it in this position here. So I'm going to try adjust this. I think I have to pull it right apart to do it though. So it's going to be a bit of a task, but yeah, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. So you can probably understand a bit more clearly now what I'm trying to do, in case you didn't get it before. You just have no idea how fiddly this is. Alright, so I went off screen for a second there because I actually had to modify that little bracket in there. I had to notch it out to move this cog down, and now that works well. So that's that one's relocated completely. This one's just sort of sitting in place at the moment. So now it's just a matter of putting the unit back together, and it should fit just fine, in theory. We have a bit of a problem here. I'm probably gonna have to redo all this shit. It's ugly, but it's done. I've just used some random wires salvaged from another radio that was stuffed. So the colors mean nothing, but they're all wired up how they're meant to be, or how that old school ribbon thing was. And this is in place now, so I'm just going to put the radio back together. Actually, scratch that. I'm not going to put it back together yet because I still want to put an auxiliary cable somewhere in this, so I'm going to have to do some research quickly. So I just did some Googling. I was going to install an AUX port somewhere on this, but it's probably going to be easier to just get an adapter for this, because that's an auxiliary input. So I'm going to dodgy something up now and then see if my PSP actually functions with this. And if it does, then I have no reason to go putting an AUX on this. Right, so I just nicked these inside from an old PlayStation cable. Seems simple enough. That'll do. It's definitely not pretty. Now I'm gonna have to plug it in and rig up some power to the equalizer, and we'll see if we can get it functioning. This is the dodgiest rigged piece of shit I've ever done. It's pretty up there, I think. We got power? Yes, we do. Good. We're all good. But we'll take my PSP here. Trusty, dusty, crusty old PSP. They sound alright for old shitty speakers. Well, the radio works. It's only hooked up with one speaker at the moment. So reception in here is pretty shit. Hey!
San Francisco, where's your disco?
Well, it works. Man, that's gonna be awesome. That is gonna be awesome. I'm so stoked with this. Next task is fitting the radio that I fixed up today, now that I know it works. Fitting this, now that I know it works. And fiddling around with a couple other things that'll be in the interior. You'll probably see that on the next episode. So, hey, if you like this dumb shit, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.